welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Here with Tim and Jonathan on the line.
It's me.
Tim. And Tim's in there. He's here.
Is that you?
Tim's very quiet.
I don't know why.
You're struggling a bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Got the bombers on a run, so we've got a stack of 5 now. They've been walking around Russia for so long, back and forth, that it's given me time to create a stack of 5 bombers. I don't know where the big stack is yet. I think I may have hit it around Moscow area because I was patrolling and just trying to find them, and then I came back and they'd hit and were on the way back. And Jonathan, you got your rockets moving up, so we're going to find the big stack. The hit that my bombers took on the first run was something like, they were already about 0.6 down, so about 3.7 damage.
Yeah.
So if that's the big stack, then fine, I can take that damage all day long, and then I can just go back to base, repair myself, and then go back for another run, because they're just miles away. There's no hurry. What do you think?
That makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised they haven't taken that much damage from all of these naval infantry. But I would say now my rocket launchers are here. You could just let those do the work. They won't be taking any damage in response to this big stack.
Can do.
I'm just organising my troops now, and I'll just gradually move in and start finding them. But it'll be great to try and like suss out where they are. I could join in with my strikes too. So we've got a lot to take them on with now.
Yeah, that's cool. I've just started research on level 4 rockets, so I'll be able to fly a load of mine out now as well. Because the point of me waiting till I get flying rockets is that I can then keep one stack in the homeland, right, and then fly them out to the 2 naval bases that have been hit and that I've lost. So I'll have a home defense force, which I'll probably just keep on the west side in Mumbai, and then I can always fly them to the east if I need to, and switch them around. So because I have lost them, I have had to be really defensive, even though they haven't necessarily come back that I know of. And then
You've got loads of rockets. Are you building them on like 2 cities at once or something?
No, just the one. But I've been building them for quite a while. But also, I've got a recruiting office level 4 and a bunker. And so I can produce rockets every 16 hours, 5 minutes. But I'm lining up. I'm just building a level 5 army base so that I can research and build theatre defence at some point. But I'll be building an underground bunker level 2 soon. And then when that's built, the morale will go up, and the higher the morale, the quicker you'll build stuff. And then I'll go on to building a level 5 recruiting office, which I've never had before. I don't think I've even had a level 4. And with the planes, I've got level 3 recruiting office. I'm a bit short of components at the moment, but I'm going through a major build where I'm just building on all the provinces where I've got components and electronics. For example, here I just built here, and then building something here as well in the electronics. Because when you build like a local industry on a province, it only takes supplies and components and money or whatever it is. But when you build arms industries on cities, it takes rare materials, and I'm trying to a bit short on the rares, so I'm just trying to spend them on upgrading the rockets, you see, and big plans on what to upgrade next. So I'll let you know about that in due course. But how's it going, Tim? What are you up to?
Yeah, pretty good. I've run into a lot of level 4 infantry in South Korea over the last day or so. And I've been struggling to take them down, so I'm sending the ships over now just to help chip away at them.
Yeah.
It's taking a long time for my artillery to really do anything because they got a little bit battered. So And the troops just level 4 infantry is quite a challenge for them.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, just been a bit slow with that, but I'll move on to Japan once I've finished with them. I'm sending over my SAMs still towards your front line because I've not really got any use for them. So I'm not sure what you're gonna really face in Europe though when you get there. The map's a bit of a mess.
it is. It's a
Can't
funny
really
one,
tell
isn't
what's
it?
going on. Like, no one's really made any big moves to sort of take over the available land.
Looks like Spain's been making a bit of a move, but they've still only just gone to crack into the next country, so that's very slow. Italy have kind of stopped. I think they've kind of taken all the land they can in their alliance, and Russia went for the UK, destroyed it, and now it's just going rogue. And Ireland never did anything. It doesn't look like any of the Scandinavian countries are very active, apart from Finland. Finland are making ground.
Yeah.
Oh God, they've come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because I think they survived. They're intact, and they were probably a bit, thinking, "Whoa, what the hell's going on with Russia? They're taking over the world, or were." But now the Russia threat's gone. They seem to have come out of their little hidey hole.
I certainly see quite a lot of somebody taking advantage of a war to clean up a bunch of land, which is fair enough. They're eating into the provinces Kazakhstan has taken. Quite nice to see.
Oh, brilliant. And it could be a new player to the game. We do often get new players sometimes finding us, so I think I slipped out the game code in one of the episodes by accident. So we might get
We're on day 17 now, so yeah, you'd be in for a challenge if you joined at this stage.
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, good progress, Tim. And yeah, absolutely use your boats. That's what they're there for. You don't need to worry about trying to keep any boats near me. I don't think you are, but I'm fine. I've got loads of rockets. I've got 5 rockets on each city, and then I've started to build a stack now. There's one rocket I am sending out to start going west into like the Middle East. And then I'll send some rockets up north to go into Europe. So I'll create a couple of stacks and press on in the north with you, John, and then on my own in the Middle East, I think. So that'll be interesting. And a huge defensive amount of armies on my home cities. So maybe a bit over the top, but it's fine.
I'm just looking at the USA's west coast, and they've got some pretty big naval infrastructure. They've not gone that big on their arms industries, but they've got a level 5 naval base. So because that's what I'm sort of wondering. I'm wondering what they might do next, if they'll, go for Africa or.
What would you build a level 5 naval base for? Is that cruisers?
It would be
aircraft carrier.
Aircraft carrier, yeah.
Well, one thing myself and Tim have learned through all our games is that aircraft carriers take a massive amount of time and resource to make, and they don't usually pay off. We've never seen somebody really effectively use them in battle.
No. They don't really carry aircraft on them. They sort of just send them in as like a big meat shield, and
they need to be defended themselves. And whilst you can stick planes on them, you're probably better off just going for some higher level cruisers. They can do just as much damage to cities.
Definitely.
And the US have started cracking into South America, haven't they? So there's going to be some big clashes there. I think there are active players. I mean, Peru for one. It's reasonably active. So
he's made real progress taking Chile and Argentina by the looks of it.
They might have allied with Peru and Brazil. the US were contacting you, weren't they, Tim and me, asking to join.
Yeah.
We declined, of course. Oh, they've got a lot of naval bases, haven't they? Level 4, level 5, level 3. Then just having a look
They've
at all
actually
the...
got one on every city, basically, haven't they?
Yeah.
Every coastal city.
Every coastal city facing your way. Maybe you should have a bit of air defence if they've got an aircraft carrier, if they use it properly.
Yeah.
Could be a
An
challenge.
interesting one. What air defense have we got near our coast? I'm keeping some SAMs on some of my home cities.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do with theatre defence and perhaps a few frigates too.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I think I might consider... I'm going to build naval base. I'm just building my naval bases back up because they were totally destroyed. I'll put one on queued. Start building that in 12 hours. So it'd be nice if I could have destroyers out of one, frigates out of the other. Start building up theatre defence and just everyone doing the same, really. Should be able to pump out a stack of frigates. Like Tim, you could probably do that quite quickly in your position.
Yeah.
Boatman.
Yeah, I'll make that my next focus, actually.
I've always found that frigates have been absolutely invaluable. Do you remember when we had them in the Norway game? The gold player.
Yep.
They saved my skin on many occasions.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because our strategy early on with Navy is always to go for destroyers. Corvettes are a waste of time. So if you want to go for frigates, then you've got to also research corvettes, and that's just it's a bit slow as an early game plan. So it's probably worth researching destroyers and then frigates later in the game.
Yeah. Destroyers, then frigates straight away if you're going naval, I think, and then build up to cruisers. You can research it all quite quickly. It just depends what you focus on, really, and how resources land.
And if you had a fleet of like mainly cruisers and a few destroyers to take on submarines, I was wondering like whether the air defense would be good enough to stop any incoming planes, because cruisers have some mainly against helicopters, but it's got some against planes. Well, what do you think about that, Tim?
Yeah, they're okay. For it, it's just the range isn't quite as much as.
So it's like it's not enough to defend
Nah.
a coastline, but is it enough? Do you reckon it's enough to defend a stack?
I think I think so, because if the other ships are leveled up, they all have decent defensive stats against planes. It's just the actual anti-air feature isn't as strong.
And then you can always stick an officer in there because that's just like a bit of a no-brainer as a tip of the spear with your navy. Yeah. They always seem to survive the harshest naval battles as well. And they've got their own air defense, which is more on like a similar level to a frigate. So that's a really solid one to have.
How's the campaign going in Australia? I've just seen you papping someone with your rockets.
Yes, it's a bit of a funny one. I can't always tell when the rockets are hitting because I'm not getting notifications, but I believe they are just chipping away, and they're just going to do a round tour all the way around Australia, and in the meantime I'm just going to take some other land as well, and I'll probably end up having to actually build a few airports just so I can get from one side to the other quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of a trek, but slow and steady.
Well, it looks like your rockets are next hitting in 36 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're destroying the buildings as collateral damage on. But
that is a bit of a problem, actually.
And people.
Yeah, rockets do more damage to buildings. 1.5 damage. You compare that to my strikes, they only do 1 damage. How much do they do to people?
4. loads.
Wow.
Awful for bombing cities, but
Yeah.
you know.
There you go.
Sometimes
Needs
you have
must
to.
in the war. Indiscriminate
we've got-
launching of rockets is the best way to do things.
We've got a radar contact on Moscow, so I'm going to hit Moscow, and we'll just see what that does. So I'm hitting Moscow in 1 minute 13. We've basically got unidentified armour, unidentified infantry. So whether that's their big stack or not, I think he might be trying to make another big stack. Italy's kept sending stuff in, hasn't he? We destroyed, or you destroyed with your strikes, a medium stack. And so, yeah, a couple of big stacks would be bad news. So let's see what happens there. So
I felt like he sent everything he has for us, but at the same time, I don't really know what he's planning or if he's active, because he's just sent some individual tanks into our provinces on their own. They can't capture provinces, and I'm sure he must know that. So like I'm just kind of thinking, what is he doing? Is he still here or not?
I think maybe. I think he was sending them in 15 seconds to rendezvous together.
Right, okay.
And that we just saw them going through our provinces when they're on their way. That's my impression. 5 seconds.
I can't remember. Did we manage to destroy those, or did they actually get there?
No, because a lot of them we haven't seen coming through. I've only just taken a tile where I think they've been coming through. On that last bombing run, I got 93, 95.6. I got about 2.9 damage. So I'm not convinced that's the main stack, but if it is,
yeah, neither am I.
It's still got infantry on it. So either way, I just dealt some pretty big damage. So 7 attack against infantry times 5 is 35. 35 damage per run, which I think that's what I've been doing. So I'll just keep hitting that stack because I'm causing more damage to the troops than anything else, which is great because that's going to help your strikes out ultimately. If it gets to a point where all of the troops are destroyed on that stack, Jonathan, then I'd send in your strikes, because they just won't get any damage and they're more effective than my bombers, and then maybe my bombers can go looking for the big stack.
I'm not convinced that is the big stack, so I'm going to send in my strikes to help out too.
Okay.
And then, yeah, as you say, we'll just keep searching for them.
Yeah. I've got a feeling they might be... they're either going for you in Nizhny via 2 different routes, maybe going over the river, although that wouldn't make sense. I think they've got to be on their way to Moscow. I really baited him and said, I'm going to get Moscow, you can't do anything about it. And it keeps falling for the baiting. I don't know, we're going to have to see. But I think he's in this sort of corridor of red tiles.
Yeah, me too.
Somewhere.
I've got a radar that's on its way. It's only level 1. Might level it up, but it should be able to spot any tanks that are around and about.
Great. And in the meantime, I'm just taking ground with my medium stack. Got a ton of anti-air on it. I've got 2 mobile SAMs, an AA gun, and then I've got combat recon, armoured fighting, and a mechanised infantry. They're all a bit battered, but they're carrying on. That was the original stack I sent out that took on Kazakhstan and won. So
Wow.
Just going for Kiev. I think that might be a route through that Italy's taking. Just so we get a bit more vision on what's coming through, really, and if it is just tanks or whatever. Because he's just sending it all by land, and we're not actually that far away from Italy. And I could be bombing it. I could be bombing Italy's home cities, but I just want to deal with the threat closer to home for some reason. I think that's more important. But yeah, there's a strategy to be had for bombing the homeland. He could be AFK, because the airbase that I bombed on the capital hasn't been repaired. And neither has any of the buildings on his second city, Naples. Whereas he was repairing them before, might have just given up, seeing that Russia's gone. But his tanks are moving around, so I'm not sure. Not sure. We'll have to see.
It's a funny one, really. I think we just need to start gaining some forward momentum. Make sure we're holding our ground too. So it would be good to see if we can get some troops just sitting on these cities. At some point, I need to go and take Archangelsk as well, but it's a bit of a trek up there, so I've been putting it off.
Yeah, and he has kept coming back with his big stack, taking the cities. I've kept Rostov on Don, and that's on 36%, but he's taken Volgograd and Voronezh and Moscow, so I'm not holding them for now until we know where his big stack is and that it isn't just going to keep taking them, because I don't want to put any more of my troops in danger, because I'm a bit short. So we'll get his big stack and then we'll do some city sitting. But I've done quite a lot of land grabbing. Got a little last couple of Russian tiles in the south that sort of touches near the Middle East. So cleaning those up. There's a few to clean up in the north and then going into Scandinavia. Hopefully Finland can help us on that. And then you're doing the sweep east. So that's good.
So still got 7 days on this one troop in the far north to get to where he's going.
Cool. But I've spotted a bit of Russian land right in the centre of Europe. In the middle of some Italy taken land. God. And also he's got the UK, hasn't he, and those outlier islands, so it's going to take quite a lot of mopping up to end the war with Russia. It's a real pain.
Oh, and then we can see the United States has made it to Iceland.
So
once we get to the UK, we could be facing off against them too. Maybe we should just encourage them to clean up some of Russia's remaining land.
Yeah, tell them to take the UK. Okay. So they've got Greenland, Iceland. Oh, that's strategic. Yeah, that is an invasion point for the UK, actually, isn't it? And Europe.
Yeah, I've tried to do it in reverse. Like when you start in Europe, you can take Greenland, and then the idea was to annex Nuuk right here, and then you'd have a naval base to go into Quebec. I've never managed to make it work because you're quite exposed up here.
Yeah.
But if you were to just build an airfield, you could fly in troops to quickly cross to the Hebrides or to some Norwegian land. But it's not often you see that. I mean, 99% of the time, people will just cross into Africa from the Americas.
Okay. I'm remembering a series where someone did that. I can't quite think which one.
It was the Rising Tides one. They entered around Mauritania and Morocco.
Yeah, and we did a series where they did the entry in through Iceland. I can't remember.
Oh, what? And then where did they go from Iceland?
Oh, they went into the UK but got papped. It was the Norway game. Do you remember the Golden Norway game? Yeah. Oh,
right. Yeah. There was some. Oh, we found out there was some really intense naval battles going on, but they ended up being around the Canada area, and ultimately, they didn't end up making a lot of grounds when they tried that route. So I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, but I think they got gold played out.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll have to have a game where we start as the Americas and try to invade Europe. That would be Tall Order. Would be a very interesting one to try out.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. See if it's possible. Across the pond. Where's I was just looking for that island in between Brazil and Africa, but there isn't one, is there? On this map. And then not a lot going on in Africa. It looks really fragmented. Even looks like Ethiopia's being eaten into where they were making ground, or maybe not. But there's some battles going on there, isn't there? In the Africa.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much land we'll actually need to take to get the win. Things are going to start speeding up a lot quicker once we properly crack into Europe.
Yeah. We might end up at odds with the US.
Yeah, so if we want to avoid a war with them, we could start cracking into Africa. Probably the best way to do that would be through Egypt. The Middle East is going to be a really good target for you to take because that's also very densely populated with cities. Maybe we'll just let the US have the UK. It is a little bit of a stretch getting there.
Yeah, but I think we should just take as much of Europe as we can. Let US have the UK if they want it, because that could be a bit of a pain to take going over water. But there's not a lot, they've been destroyed, so there's not a lot of defence that's going to be met. Okay, what sort of stuff are you guys researching and building then?
At the moment, I'm just going for the level 2 elite sub. So I'll be building a few of those next, and
because the limit's 6, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be 6 for level 2. I'll build 3 more.
Nice.
Getting the level 3 naval base ready.
I'm actually going for the same thing, and it's handy because I've been building the ballistic missile subs. I've already got my level 4 base set up, so that's good to go.
Ooh.
And then for the level 3 subs, you need a level 5 naval base and a level 2 secret weapons lab. So that's only 2 more upgrades for me before I can get those. And it might be a good shout. But I just want enough to defend my coast. So I've got 3 that are ready to go in this big ballistic stack that I'm now forming. And then the other 3 I'll just set outside my home cities, which are at risk. But between us, Tim, we've got a lot to defend with, haven't we?
Very nice. Yeah,
Might be quite fun to harass the US with ballistic missiles in a few days, actually.
Just sit somewhere near Cuba and bomb Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
It would probably be best to go east, to be fair. See, one thing I need to test out is the range on these ballistic missiles. But if we could sit somewhere in the Panama Canal, we could hit Peru's capital and the US's capital, could get into place and then just absolutely bombard them. And on the travel over there, I'll be making my missiles, and I'll probably also be researching cruise missiles because both my ballistic sub and my officer can fire cruise missiles once they're upgraded. So they'll also be quite handy in close fights.
Cool. Very, very nice. Well, not to be left out then, one of my research routes is for stealth bomber.
Ooh.
So I'm a little bit away. I've got 1, 2, 3. It would be 4 researches to get the basic one, but the attack range is 5,000. And it's got 10 attack against buildings, 15 against troops, 7.5 against hard targets. So I could really bomb the absolute Jesus out of them. We've got the opportunity of, Jonathan, when you've taken the Far Eastern Russian province, that's going to be closest to them on that side. And then if we go through Europe, then it's just, as close as we can get in Europe to build a base there, but that's much, much further away. So actually that Europe, the Russian tile, is quite important. But what's closer? Fuji's
See where is closer? Hawaii.
Where's Hawaii?
Little string of islands like northeast of Fuji. It's a little bit difficult to spot. Like, it's often neglected by people passing by. But yeah, it's and right out there in the middle.
Guess who's
you
got
don't
it?
see a lot of combat from.
Guess who owns Hawaii?
Yeah. So if you were to build an air base there and just surround it with ships, then that would be an absolute pain to get rid of. And your stealth bombers, they could hit the west coast, and by that time, who knows? We might be set up here in Bermuda or Portugal or maybe even in Iceland. And that, do you think that would be long enough to get all the way over to the east coast as well?
Well, if I was to bomb their capital until it went rogue, then that would absolutely destroy all their other cities. Iceland, I think, yeah, it might be. Iceland might be close enough, or Ireland, a province in Ireland, or on the edge of Portugal, Spain, or certainly somewhere in Africa might do it. Hang on, there's so the Canary Islands, near northwest of Africa. Someone could send a forlorn hope to take it. And it might just be close enough in between air bases. I'll have to do a bit of what you can do is to work out how far all this is going to be. Is grab your planes and select patrol, and then don't click patrol, but it shows you the ring, and then you get your kind of your little finger and your pointing finger, and stretch them across, and basically that whole width is going to be about 1,500. Now imagine that's 5,000, so that's 3 times the width. So
I actually remember a game where I did have stealth bombers, Tim. This was when I was Afghanistan. I think I had an airbase roughly around New Delhi, and I could reach New Zealand with my stealth bombers.
Right.
So that is pretty significant.
Remind me where New Delhi is again.
It's your capital, mate.
Capital.
And
Okay.
New Zealand is quite a long way away.
New Zealand is down here.
So, like, roughly, if you zoom all the way out from the top left
Wow.
corner of your screen to the bottom right, that's what you could potentially reach. And that's that's
Ooh.
definitely doable.
That's huge. So the entire length
Europe.
of the screen.
So, like, we wouldn't be able to reach the west coast of the US from the west coast of Europe, but we would be able to reach the east coast and some of the inland cities.
Okay, yeah. So we can take the Canary Islands and build an airport. I'll be able to reach with a stealth bomber. Because who's going to bother taking back the Canary Islands?
Yeah. who really knows? I don't think we need to worry about that just yet. I feel like this is something to worry about in about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, good to plan though. Be ready for it. Okay, looking good. So I find it amazing the amount of resources I'm producing, but I'm still using it all, apart from electronics, which I keep feeding you, John. Should we do a resource sound off?
Feed me.
Haven't done one of those in a while, or ever, on this series. Supplies, 372 an hour.
Ricky, 245.
Tim,
Oh, is he there?
I think we've lost him. So
Oh no, he's gone to the void.
yeah, fair enough. Components, and I must stress actually, I started with 8 cities, so I'm at an unfair advantage. So it's not really comparable. But components 290, but I did lose a city.
216, and I haven't lost any cities.
I think I started off with one more than you though. Fuel 228.
136.
Electronics 186.
122.
Rare materials 72.
118.
There you go. And manpower 267.
183.
Mahoney 2050.
Honey, 1,538. It's like, mine is alright. Yours is incredible for day 17, and it's just, starting with as many cities as you have, and then you've taken all of these ones in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and it's just given you such a good start.
Yeah,
You've done really well.
Yeah, I've had a flying start with loads of cities, big resource production. It's annoying that I lost the 2 on the coast, but the others remained intact. And I normally press hard on building the infrastructure first and then building the good stuff later, but I got a good mix in where I was able to research stuff and then build it early on, which really helped.
Yeah, I've definitely gone for more like pushing out the essential troops at the start, but that's meant it's taken a lot longer for me to catch up on resources now. I could have perhaps been a little bit more value oriented and still succeeded. There you go.
Yeah. So what I do is I burn mine out. I stretch them to the very end of their existence, and my front line is very thin indeed. But there'll be a second wave coming. In fact, there would have been a second wave already if my home cities hadn't been taken. I'd have had tons of stuff out there. But now I've got, I must have about 20 units on my homeland. So that should and could be out there. Could have taken Middle East by now, but hey, got to protect your own. So I've got plenty of life left in these bombers. We'll just keep burning them on Moscow overnight, and see where the big stack pops out. No doubt we'll see it. Any last thoughts, John?
Not from me.
Well, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Over and out.